All right, all right. Shalom. I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Salutations to all the brothers and few sisters out there. Unto his like foreigners from the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Shalom in the Hebrew, which means peace. I'm gonna start out with scripture before I let this thing play out. Scripture is gonna be Proverbs 29 and 6 and 2. Sorry. When the righteous are in authority, the people mourn. Slakia. That's just saying. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. So I'm going to let this thing play out a little bit. I'm going to interject. It's going to prove everything that we've been saying through the Spirit. Oh, also before I got to, get my points across. Because I, did a show, something to this occasion. I've been making mention of it. This is why we at GMS always refer to films, because films, they're foretelling. In other words, this is called predictive programming. Predictive programming, that's their form of their prophecy. It's how they fulfill the things that they plan out to do, which is also a method of the revelation of the method, something like that. It's like it. So films tell you what the elites desire. Okay, what their attention is for the majority of people, how they see things. Because it was a documentary. I don't know, I keep forgetting this documentary, but the man said when he was talking about Terminator, and he said a guy that was working in the CIA actually saw the movies. Like, how did they know we have these things? And that's when the statement came about that movies are not movies; they're documentaries. Matter of fact, hold on before. So they those are the things that they plan to do when they decide to do it. Micah 2:1, real quick. It says, "Woe to them that devises iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it's in the power of their hands." So it's not a rough draft of what they desire. What they desire is a deep thought, and these are like indications to one another, stating this is how we want to get things done. You know, like the movie Captain America, Winter Soldier, one of the best movies. Me and Apostle Ricard went to the movie and seen it, and we was looking at each other after a certain scene, and he's like, "Yo, these people don't even understand what the hell they're watching, because it was straight plain to your face." So I'm not gonna say the movie until it gets to the point.
So many things suck about living in 2025. We keep saying that we're living through history and we don't want to be living through history. I would like to stop living through history. I wish we could have some calm and tranquil times, not these like incredibly hectic times where everything's changing and everything's getting worse. But one of the things that we haven't focused on enough is the rise of artificial intelligence. Now, AI itself is a menace because you're going to have jobs are going to be taken away, and also people are literally being driven insane by AI. There's been a number of cases of like AI murderers already who are convinced that the AI wants them to murder, and people have been convinced that they're geniuses because the AI bullshit. And there's a lot of creepy shit going on. But one of the underreported aspects of just how much AI sucks is that you need these gigantic data centers in order to run AI. It requires a tremendous amount of energy to run.
So what is a data center? Well, obviously, this is where the bulk of the main computers would be. And well, all these data centers was essential that it requires a lot of energy. So like I said, I'm not going to say nothing until when he gets to that point. And you're going to understand. Matter of fact, I should have had it queued up, but I'm just going to let it play. Hold on.
AI AI supercomputers. And so we've covered on this channel in Memphis, Tennessee, you have the Grok AI Center. And it's basically like poisoned Memphis, Tennessee. And you already have countless examples of it's a majority minority community, largely a black community, and all these people are getting fucking poisoned because of the emissions from this massive Grok data center that just pollutes everything around it 24/7, right?
All right. So there was another mention I said before. So Trump had to say, he said he was going to send troops to Chicago, right? Then all of a sudden, change of plans. And out of the blue, a place called Memphis, Tennessee, now the National Guard is going over there. So how you go from, and the talking point in every freaking political talk show, Democrats, Republicans, conservatives, liberals, all that nonsense. And the talking point is how dangerous Chicago is. How dangerous Chicago is. How dangerous Chicago is. You never hear, you hear LA. You pretty much didn't hear nothing about Washington until this man made a statement about Washington, D.C. St. Louis, you heard about that. New York. I don't think Florida, but you hear about these other major cities. But you never hear anything about Memphis. So now, why was he talking about Memphis so much? Oh, that's right. Mr. He could create his own party. Elon Musk, that's why he wants to conduct his supercomputer. Okay? He had mentioned it in a meeting with, I guess, just a random interview, and he talked about how Memphis, and he was high on something, but he mentioned Memphis, Egypt, because that's where the name Memphis come from. But he was really talking about Memphis. He's a witch, he's a warlock. So everything that they do is on the left hand side of things. So Slovakia, what the hell happened? Slovakia. So here it is. The plan is revealed. Why do you want to be in Memphis? Why the National Guard is all of a sudden in Memphis? And what is the results of their presence at Memphis? All right, it's to protect Elon Musk's investment. Okay, because the things that they're about to do is going to be catastrophic for the people, for the local people. And we'll let them play Slovakia about that.
And so, we talked about that. More Perfect Union did a great piece on that. Well, now guess what? Take a look at this. So this is also in More Perfect Union. Mark Zuckerberg is building out a $10 billion Manhattan-sized data center in Richland Parish, Louisiana, in what will be Meta's largest data center in the world. We spoke with farmers and residents in town where 90% of income comes from farming about what's at stake. So let me repeat that. Mark Zuckerberg is building a $10 billion AI data center. That's the size of Manhattan. Do you have any idea the emissions that are going to be dumped into the atmosphere as a result of that? And how many people will get sick? And how much that'll speed up climate change, for example? And do you also have any idea how much that's going to make your electricity bills fucking skyrocket?
And there you go. Electricity bills is going to go up the what? Because this data system requires a lot of energy. Okay? This is why they want to do certain things. This is why they want to get rid of a lot of people in certain areas. This is why when they passed a law, I believe it was under Biden, that the government could take any land that is what they consider natural disasters. A natural disaster area, the land can be taken by the government. And this is why all of these random storms been coming and hitting certain areas, because those certain areas have enough energy to do what they need to be done. So the plot thickens.
They're going to crash the grid. These motherfuckers, these AI tech billionaire robber barons, are going to crash the grid. All because they're trying to build these fucking supercomputers. Jesus Christ. All right. So now I'll play the clip for you here. Take a look.
I'm standing at the site of Meta's new $10 billion data center in Richland Parish, Louisiana. It'll be the largest data center the company has ever built, about the size of Manhattan. The project is already bringing about big changes to this small town way of life here.
A lot of folks are on their own. And if they are on a very strict budget, they're going to have to adapt. And if they don't, they won't make it.
I don't know, they're gutting 2,500 acres of land just so we can mine data so that we can better market and sell people stuff. I feel like it's getting carried away.
Why are the data centers coming to the small rural towns? They're coming here to benefit themselves. They're not coming here with intentions of benefiting the community.
Our farmers out here really rely on the water system for irrigating the crops and stuff like that. They play the water system. That's going to be a big problem.
In a sense, it feels like, well, yeah, they come take advantage of us poor, dumb rural folks,
But this data center is going to use about 3 times the energy that New Orleans uses in a year.
Bro, the data center is going to use 3 times the energy that New Orleans uses in a year? Oh my God.
I'm curious how, if electricity bills go up for people here, how that might impact them.
We're a poor area. It's a huge amount of people that have trouble paying their electric bill currently. There are people who don't own vehicles. They don't have health care. I just think about the people that I know that they won't be able to keep their lights on.
This is the large farming community here in Northeast Louisiana. We're giving our most valuable resource, which is farmland. I want to know, what is Meta doing to give back to the community?
There's a fear like, well, you know who's going to get what they need. It's going to be the people with the most money and the most power. I've worked a very short time in the oil field, South Texas, and working down there, you would be working in a boom town, but you would drive through a different old boom town that is where the oil used to be, but it isn't no more. And it was just a ghost town, because all that happens when a place like this comes in is the rich, they just get richer.
This is like a huge deal, man. So now you're going to have all of the...
Yes, indeed, because this is part of them creating that one thing that they desire, their new world order. There's dystopia world order. They don't give two F's about the common person. All right, they don't care. Why? Because they're making the rich is getting richer and the poor remains poor. And you hear, and who's really being harmed? Edomites, which is ironically funny. All right, here it is. They went 8-bat shit crazy to get this man in office, and everything that's been done is instantly pulling the rug on them. It didn't matter who was in office. These things was going to happen, and there's more.
Louisiana is going to get poisoned from the pollution, the emissions that are pumped out by this giant data center. The electricity bills are going to fucking skyrocket. The grid is going to get tested to the max. I mean, this is not good. Now, by the way, here's what's already happening with U.S. electricity prices. Look at this. This is what's already happening. Yes, part of this is because...
And you know why electricity bills are going sky high? Because they pushed everything. They created everything electric friendly. Central air, central heat. All right, they put everything in one bill. So gas, electricity, all in one bill. So during the wintertime, Northeast, everybody's complaining about how high their bill is. During the summertime, everybody's complaining about how high their bill is. Why? Because they expect people to, it's too high. All right? They ain't gonna cut it no more. The new design buildings, especially out here, it's central air. All right? All central air. Everything's ran by electricity. The new buildings also, you used to just need your key. No longer you need your key fob, and all this other stuff, which doesn't take much. But when you go into the building, it's like a prison. All right, it's like a freaking prison. Or it can automatically shut on you. So everything is ran by electricity now. Everything. And everything's designed to go high. So this is all part of the plan. This is part of, well, let's back to Micah. It says, woe unto them that devises iniquity and work evil upon their bed. Right? Because there was two different lines. There was the gas bill, your light bill, even the water bill down in the south. It's housing. All costly. Everything's going to cost. All right, in the city, instead of you getting your electric bill coming from, or your energy coming from the actual city you're from, you get it from, you might get your energy from another state, which that costs state more money for your electric bill. They didn't tell us that shit. All right, they didn't tell us none of that. This is all by design. That's why this man's evil, man. This man's wicked.
Of AI, but a lot of it is because of Trump's big bullshit bill and Trump cutting all the funding to the Biden laws that passed. So Biden was creating thousands of jobs in green and renewable technology fields. So we were creating green energy, wind energy, solar energy, things of that nature, and there were a lot of jobs that were being. And now Trump just cut the.
See, that's why sometimes I'd rather not with these guys, because it seems like he's more into the other side. But when Biden did that, he did it abruptly, which took out a lot of people out of work. You will come to realization that this is obviously a two-winged bird. In other words, it's part of the same system. So despite if it's coming from the left or the right, they're still screwing the people. A lot of people lost their jobs when Biden did that, which Trump promised, drill baby drill. But look what's happening. The drill baby drill, and look what you put in the energy and time for. It's not for the people. They care less about what the needs of the people are. They care more about those that in power. All the tech guys, when Trump had the meeting with all the tech guys and Bill Gates and all this other stuff, is why? Because they're entering this new phase of this new world order. And this is how they're going to accomplish Revelations 13:15 on down. Okay? Which is that image that is speaking about is the new world order. And they need energy for that. They need resources. They need land. And there's plenty of land, despite who's on that land, they don't give a damn. That's why the scripture says, a matter of fact, let me get this real quick. Camera. I'll come back to that. 2 Ezra 8:50. It says, many great miseries shall be done to them that are in the latter time, that shall dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride. So the part of the great miseries is everything going sky high. Things becoming unaffordable for the average person. Okay? And the powers that be, they care less. This is why people's going to take matters to their own head. This is why he had to set the National Guard down in Memphis. And then after he said he's going to send the guards down to Memphis, that's when all of a sudden, oh yeah, Memphis, the crime over there it's terrible. But before, nobody was talking about Memphis, Tennessee. Nobody, not even a peep. That's to show you how they changed the narrative consistently to make it fit when he wanted to fit. And they passing these unrighteous laws on the very citizens of their society. So great miseries are coming. All right. People are not going to have the answers. People can't afford anything any longer. Matter of fact, second Ezra 16. I'm gonna have to come back and forth to this one because it says 41. Let me see. He that selleth, let him be as he that fleeth away. He that buyeth, as one that loses. He that occupieth merchandise, as he that have no profit by it. And he that buildeth, as he that shall not dwell therein. He that soweth, as if he should not reap. So also he that planteth the vineyard, as he that shall not gather the grapes. They that marry, as they that shall get no children, and they that marry not, as the widowers, and therefore they that labor in vain. And people realizing more and more consistently that all their life's worth is worth shit in this society. It's impossible to live in this world, especially the way things are going. And he's going to make mention of this too. And this should have been going on for forever. All right.
The funding for all that. So now, what happens when you reduce the amount of wind energy, you reduce the amount of solar energy, you reduce the amount of green and renewable energy that we have in this country, and try to double down on fossil fuels? Well, look at what happens as a result of it. Energy prices fucking skyrocket. They skyrocket. But I'm still not done. I mean, he's doing literally everything to tank this country and make it so you can't afford to live. Great example. Remember this? We covered this a while ago. Already the electricity bills are going up. But listen to one of the other reasons why that is.
The European Union is going to agree to purchase from the United States $750 billion worth of energy.
Can I show you something? When Donald Trump says $750 billion worth of energy, what he's talking about is LNG. You see this? This, LNG exports. This, price of electricity. LNG exports, price of electricity. Donald Trump wants to triple this. When Donald Trump triples this, what do you think is going to happen to this? Do you think this is just going to stop going up? I've been telling you guys for a really long time what's coming with electricity bills, much to the dismay of a lot of people who call me a fearmonger and all kinds of stuff. When I say your electric bill will one day, in the near future, be more than your rent or your mortgage, I'm saying it because it's true. You are going to be subsidizing the companies that send all of our natural resources to Europe. Most of you have already seen this showing up on your electric bills. What you need to understand is it's going to get unbelievably worse. You're just seeing the beginning. Because if this wasn't bad enough, now we're going to try to do everything we can to destroy renewable energy at a time when energy demand is growing faster than it's ever grown in the United States in history. This president is completely incompetent when it comes to energy and understanding how it works and how it impacts Americans. If you think high gas prices cause inflation, what do you think is going to happen to the farmer who spends more money on electricity than you could dream of? What do you think is going to happen at Walmart, who spends about $1 billion a year on electricity just in the United States? What do you think is going to happen when that turns into $2 billion a year? This isn't just your electric bill. This is everything.
We're cooked. This will destroy us.
And you know why? Why all of a sudden Europe is going to need United States of America's energy? There was a certain pipeline many, many years ago that the United States decided to destroy, coming from Russia to Europe. That pipeline was a significant pivotal point for for the EU nations, period. Also, fast forwarded, this whole war with Ukraine, which is really funded and backing by the West, which mainly America, Europe is not in a good position. So, in order to Europe and that freaking small state called Israel, that's what the promise was, because they found gas in that area, that region, that they're doing certain things to. So their promise is if you go attack Iran, Russia, and all this other stuff, we'll supply you with this. So what end up happening for the people back at home? Oh yeah, you have to pay the price and then some, because the United States of America, being the whore that it is selling its own citizens short without a care in the world. Okay, so this is happening. All of this is happening under this man. This man is literally tearing this place apart. And this is just the first year of his administration. It's not even the full year yet. Okay, there's more.
What we're doing here is going to fucking destroy us. It's going to destroy us. We're going to have fucking rolling blackouts because of these fucking AI data centers.
And when he said the rolling blackouts, it reminded me when I visited Haiti. And there was days where there is no power because the power was not it wasn't given out much to majority of the nation. So America is about to be a third world country, straight up and down. This is about to have third world implication. A lot of people is going to suffer. A lot of people are going to die because the simple fact is a certain lifestyle that people has monitored. It's pretty hot today, but it's not AC worthy. But people decide they got to turn the AC on all day, every day. So just imagine when there's no power and you got to wait till power kicks in, how it's going to turn out. It's about to get bad. It's about to get horrible out here.
We're doubling down on fossil fuels at the same time you're increasing exports of fossil fuels and cutting back on the renewable energy. I mean, again, he says it all right there, but now your energy bill is going to be more than rent. It's going to be more than your mortgage. It's going to be more than, it's going to be astronomically huge. And what does that do to the stability of the country as well? I mean, now you're really rolling the dice with some revolutionary type shit because it's all fun and games until people can't afford to eat or they can't afford to keep the fucking lights on. And we are going 1,000 miles an hour in that direction. We're going 1,000 miles.
And that's second Ezra is the 15th chapter. All right, that's second Ezra is the 15th chapter. They going hard body to screw this country about, and this is why people are going to lose it. Out of many things, people are losing it. And when he said 1,000 miles, there's so many things that's happening consistently at simultaneous at the same time. It's hard to bear. It's hard to understand what's going on. All right, and it's diabolical. Everything is diabolical. Second Ezra 15. 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh. One people shall stand up, fight against another, and swords in their hands. Which it goes into racial wars, civil wars. All right? Mainly civil wars, which is going to be, amongst the civil wars is going to be racial. Okay? People's going to take sides. But on top of all of that good stuff is what? Is going to be a class war. All right? Because people, when they realize what's really going on, how the lower elites is screwing them up, that pass all these laws to take away from them, they're going to go up top. But there was a point of emphasis. While all the tensions and all the distractions that's being consistently hammered in towards the people, the consistent thing is they want to keep people distracted so that way the people could take themselves out. All right. And they could come with the solution. They're making everybody's lives miserable. They're doing everything in their power to ensure life is short for everybody. So people is going to take matters into their own hand. It says, for there shall be sedition among men. What is sedition? Everything that's happening with this whole Captain Kirk debacle, which that's also predictive programming. People putting two and two together with that movie Snake Eyes by Nicolas Cage. How all this stuff was predictively programmed. How everything was going to go down. So with all that, people are realizing, like, yo, you can't believe your own eyes. And you can't believe your own eyes. All these things are happening. People speaking ill against the government. All right, inciting others to do certain things, and eventually it's gonna work. And it says, and invading one another, and they shall not regard their kings nor princes. The course of their action shall stand in their own power. So people are going to take matters into their own hands. They're not going to regard anything the politicians had put upon them. So the movie I was thinking of, which I should have had it queued up, but it's okay. I said Matrix. The Matrix. What was it called? Matrix. Let me see. I'm gonna just put city, but it was a certain name for it. City scene. Man, I tell you. Not that. Machine City.
Okay, Jen, you're not saying the line.
I just don't.
No. And when he got to Machine City, there was something that I saw, and it kind of dawned onto me a while back. Salakia, let me make sure I get this right. All right, let me go back a little bit. All right, now this scene right here, as you can clearly see, these are machines coming in to destroy Neo, preventing him to get into the Machine City. Now, if you look in the bottom, you see these pipelines. These pipelines is what's draining the natural resources from the land to feed the Machine City. All right, let me see if I get this more. So the whole city's being protected by the machines, but the machines are literally destroying. See all that? Are literally destroying the land to empower itself. So yeah, we sit there, we thinking things are just movies and so forth, but it's showing you straight up, this is what is required to bring in this new world order. Okay, if I'm not mistaken, let me see if I can find another. He got into the city. This is how you see things. Now look, and also look how you see things. You see everything is energy, so the energy is being taken, right? That's why I don't know, man. There's this. Where is this scene? There's another scene. And you see how everything's designed. So in order to build this infrastructure, this is what's required. They require land. They require energy. And what ended up happening in the movie, when Neo explained it, not Neo, Morpheus explained it, they don't know who strike first or whatever. They block out the sun, right? So that was renewable energy. So what they end up using, people as batteries. So this devil knows exactly what he's doing. In order to empower the thing that he has to literally destroy the land that is there. Two more, and that's it. Isaiah 14 and 16. It says, "They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider, saying, Is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake kingdoms, that made the world as a wilderness, and destroyed the cities thereof, and that opened not the house of the prisoners?" All right, that's going to be a proverb in the kingdom, like, because obviously he's gonna be taken out of power, and since he's going to be taken out of power, everybody's going to reflect on the things what he have done to this very planet that we dwell in. Okay, and all this for what? To bring in his new world order. And the last scripture, maybe not. Revelation 13 and 15, since I quoted it. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast. So how did he get the power? He had to create a system. We are now in a beast-like system. This is why credit cards is used for every damn thing. This is why everything's moving in a faster pace. Why more energy is required. Okay? Damn near everybody got multiple TVs in their household, multiple TVs on their hands. You gotta stay in tune. This is not an overnight thing. All right, they built an entire system so they can empower that new world order. How they establish it, and they have to get it done, and they are getting it done, passing the certain laws to get these things done to empower this city, which is what also a smart city. All right, they have to power these smart cities. That's the only way they can accomplish that, which is, so they don't give two damns about anybody. You're gonna have to pay the piper. It says, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak, and that causes many that should not worship the image of the beast should be killed. So people is going to be put to death if they do not fit their new world order. All right. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, two classes, not middle class, two classes. A feudal system. All right, the very rich and the very poor. Free and bond to receive a mark in the right hand on their forehead, which that mark is charagma in the Greek. It means incision. This is why they want to push artificial intelligence. They want to push technocracy. They want to push transhumanism. Okay? They want to push all these things so that way everything's fully part of their new world order. And that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that have understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number 300 is 603 scores and 6. So this is what they had to bring into life, and it's alive. And everybody's lives is going to be more miserable because this is what they want to bring in. So with that being said, shalom to the elect in the nations. Shalom.